I need a cigarette.
All right. So we are about to get into probability. You're either going to hate it or you're going to love it. I'm going to try to break it down as easily as I can for you to understand it. So probability comes from random experiments. Rolling a die, tossing a coin, drawing a card out of a deck. Okay. When I toss a coin or roll a die, my outcome cannot be predicted. Okay. It's not like I've got a weighted coin that no matter how I flip it, it's always going to land on heads. Okay. I cannot predict what my coin is going to land on. I can guess, but it's not going to be accurate. Anytime you have probability, we have what they call sample space, which is your set of all of your possible outcomes. So, what choices do I have to land on? So you're listing your choices for your sample space. You list your choices. Okay, if they're asking for the sample space, you need to list all of the options that you have. If they want your size of your sample space, this is your number of choices. Okay, and we're going to do several examples so you understand what I mean by this. Questions or problems yet?
I'm a dog.
You're a dog? Like Ruff Ruff?
Nah, he likes.
So wait,
Oh.
number one, wouldn't the samples just be heads, tails, and you have two?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, number one says it wants us to toss a coin and observe whether it lands on heads or tails.
Heads or tails.
So, my sample space is my coin can land on heads or tails. So then my sample space size is 2. Heads or tails.
Did you hear what you said?
No.
What?
I'm ignoring him.
Man, Miss Smith, you know it's all love.
It's all love. Love, love, love. Toss a coin twice and observe whether it lands on heads or tails for each toss. So if I'm tossing it twice, what kind of options do I have for it to land on?
Two heads, two tails.
Okay, I can get heads first, tails second, or G said tails first, heads
Or
second.
could just land in the middle.
No.
All right. Yeah.
What other options do I have, or is that it?
She thought about it.
Nobody thought about it.
She thought about it.
The sample space. She was right. You know the same.
It's 4, ain't it?
What am I missing? It is 4. But you didn't list me 4 different options. You only listed me 2.
I mean,
Yeah, but
Heads,
Heads, heads, and tails, tails.
oh shoot, I wasn't even on that.
Okay.
No one.
You still.
So I can flip it twice and get heads both times. I can flip it twice and get tails both times. I can flip it twice and get heads and then tails, or tails and heads. Okay.
Different. Okay.
Here we go. Multiple choice section of a quiz has 2 questions with answer choices A, B, C, and D. Oh man, here we go. Okay. So my first question on my quiz, I could get a what?
A, B, C, or D.
A, B, C, or D.
A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M.
Okay. So that's question 1.
And then it's
If
again.
question 1 is A, what are my answer choices for question 2?
B, C, D, A.
A, B, C, D.
A, B, C, or D?
Confusion.
Bro, this.
Wait, what? What?
Bro, this that
Whoa.
junk, like where you got like a t-shirt and some pants, and you got.
Yes,
yes.
that's what we're doing. The t-shirt and the pants and the shoes and the socks and the jacket.
This is why I didn't like math too.
This is why I don't like math. Period.
Say it.
Exactly.
Say it.
Say it again.
Period.
Free.
Period.
Preach.
Wait.
Damn.
Why did your ponytail go all the way up? My ponytail went
But okay, so how we get that? So
Okay,
question-
hold on. We're not done yet.
I don't know.
Okay, these are all of your. Actually, let me move this. Most of you will probably use
Man,
this
I'm just
thing
kidding.
the other way.
Dang, Miss Smith, I
What
was
project
so
that was
happy
on
to
God
see
you disrespect.
You probably gonna throw it away anyway.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh.
so you remember doing? Do you remember doing tree diagrams?
No. Yeah. No, I lied.
Somewhat.
Okay, so actually, let's back this up a minute. Let's do coins. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip a coin.
Mm-hmm.
First time it can land on heads or tails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna flip it again. And I can land on heads or tails.
Okay.
So that's where these 4 options came from. I can do heads, tails, tails, heads, or tails, tails. I can keep building off of this. So if I want to flip it again, guess what? I've got heads or tails,
Well, you gonna keep flipping
heads
that.
or
Wait,
tails,
wait.
Let him stop.
heads or tails,
It doesn't matter how many times you flip, you're gonna get
heads
the
or
same
tails.
thing.
And it just builds.
Mm.
Okay, that's kind of what we're doing here. Okay, so the first time for my multiple choice, I can get A for an answer, B for an answer, C for an answer, D for an answer.
Sample space size is infinite.
Once I get A, my second choice, I can still get A, B, C, or D. If I picked B for the first one, my second one could be A, B, C, or D.
So
It
I mean,
builds
wait,
each
but that
time.
don't make no sense. Cause when you choose A, you choose A.
Or A, B, or A,
That's what I
B,
was
C,
confused.
D.
Because it was a question that was like asked me. It said 2 questions with answer choice A, B, C, or D.
Right.
So technically it would be A, B, C, or D.
And then
But
A, B, C, and D.
I guess it's the question. I don't know. I
Because
can't
A
remember.
equals A, B, C,
But I see
D.
what you're saying.
Okay, so
I don't.
my head hurt. I'm already
My
tired.
head hurts.
It ain't.
I'm
It's
not lying.
2:21. My head hurts.
Okay, so let's try to do it maybe this way. All right, so I'm trying to come up with an answer key for this multiple choice test. And I could pick both of my answers to be A, or I can do AB, or I can do AC, or I can do AD.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay?
I like that. I like that.
I was about to say
Does that help? Okay.
Did you do something like that before?
Or I can do BA,
Yeah, so
BB,
this is like when we did that one thing.
BC, BD.
What you mean, BD?
Or my first could be a C. Well, then I could have CA, CB, CC, or CD.
I'm cool. Cut.
So there's going to be 16. DA, DB, DC, and
Let
DD.
me write that down.
Okay. See, that's much easier.
So
than
there's
what you're
16 total options.
You
Well,
Okay, listen. The chart that I was trying to get you to understand here would have given you these answer choices.
Yeah, he would have given us headache.
Okay, if you do the tree, here's your AA answer choice.
Oh.
Here's your AB. Here's your AC. Here's your AD.
Yeah.
Hey,
I prefer it that way. I prefer it this way. The
You
one
prefer
way.
the red way?
Yes.
That's
I
fine.
like the way you do it. The blue way.
The blue way?
Mm.
By all means, whatever way makes more sense to you.
I just didn't know what it meant. Like I'm thinking you saying we
No.
picked A, but we got A. Like I was confused.
Yeah, bro, we picked A, so we got A or B. Or C or D.
Have I caught everybody now?
Yeah.
Are we all on the right page?
Yeah, I like that.
So is that the same way for 4?
Okay, so it's the same way for 4. We want to answer 3 true or false questions on a warm-up.
It means there's only 3 ways of this here to do.
Okay, I suggest when you do more than 2 choices, you've got to create this tree. Or else it's just too hard to make sure you have all your options. So, the first choice I've got true and false. That's question 1. Okay, that branches off. Question 2 can either be true or false. My third question then can also be true or false. Okay,
Yeah.
let me get this all out here and then I'll explain what this means.
It means you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, yes, Zoe is absolutely
What do we know?
correct. That means you have 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh,
By the time you're done with your tree, there are 8 branches at the end. Okay. If they wanted you to list that sample space, you follow your tree. So I can go true, true, true. Or I can go true, true, false. I can go true, false, true.
What are you writing?
I can go true, false, false. So if they ask you to list out the sample space, you've got to give me the tree diagram or you've got to list them out. So this one here, we've got false, true, true, false, true, false, 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 true, and false, false, false.
babe, you tripping.
I'm happy with my shoes and my clothes in the morning. Like white shirt. blue
Okay.
jeans.
So if they're asking for the size, you want an actual number. If they're wanting the sample space, you actually have to list out your options.
So we gotta do that. Which one do you prefer? True, like the little tree thing you did, or
I prefer the tree. I think it just
a
makes
little
more sense.
TTT thing?
Guys, I know.
Sorry, it wasn't the day to do something serious.
No, well, we don't have a choice, sunshine. All right.
One of my friends.
See,
Oh my God.
I think it's
I kind of want to do the little things you did in biology for this one.
Okay. A couple plans on having 3 children,
Wait.
and they consider whether they may have a boy or a girl.
Or both.
Okay.
Why?
Think about to the one we just did. How many options did I have for each pick?
3.
Or 2.
2.
See, but this
Wait,
is
what?
True or false?
This, you can have twins.
Here I can have boy or girl.
You can have both of them.
Okay. We're not talking twins, Drew. Please don't confuse everybody. Okay. They're having one baby at a time.
Oh,
One baby at a time. A boy or a girl. So you've got 2 options each time. Okay. 2 options each time. And it's branching out how many different times? 3 times, because we're picking 3 children.
Damn, I thought they were doing it.
So, you ready for the shortcut?
Yeah. You always do something dirty.
I know.
I knew she was gonna do.
Okay, so. Is it important that you need to write out the sample space? Yes, if they're asking you to do that. Majority of the time, they could care less whether you can actually write out the sample space. Majority of the time, all they want are these answers here. 4, 16, 8. Okay, so we said we're picking our first child. Our first child can be what?
a boy or girl.
Boy or girl.
BJ.
So that gives me how many options?
All y'all.
2.
BJ.
And then I'm having a second child.
Boy,
How many options?
boy, girl.
Boy, girl.
Thus.
Dos. And I'm having a third child. Boy, girl. 2.
So we're just gonna multiply.
Oh,
that.
so you saying like each time you got two options, so that boom, and then you multiply it. Or
So 2 times 2 is?
4.
Times 2 is?
Oh.
Why? What?
Ready?
I
Hold on, hold
wanna-
on.
have
Why must you always torture
Let's go
us?
back. Hold on. Let's go back. So,
Technically, you already had the answer.
Oh, never mind. Because it's like
You ready?
3 children.
So,
with 2 answers.
I'm flipping a coin once. I'm flipping a coin once. How many options do I have for it to land on? 2. It can be heads or tails. So I've got 2 options for the first flip. The second flip, I still have 2 options, heads or tails. What's 2 times 2?
Dos. I mean, wait. Cuatro.
Those.
Okay.
It's pretty much did it a different way.
Take a look at this one. 2 multiple choice questions. My first question, how many options do I have? Answer choices.
Cuatro.
I've got 4. The second question, how many options do I have?
Cuatro.
4. What's 4 times 4?
16.
It works every time.
We could just do it then. What? We have to show over.
Miss Smith, I like you, but I also dislike you. It's
You
just
like
terrible.
me, but you dislike me?
Yes, every time you keep doing this to us.
Fair.
Go.
Actually, number 6, you can't.
Oh, well,
Rolling a pair of dice.
Rolling a pair of
Skip.
dice simultaneously. Consider the total of the 2 dice. What's the smallest total I can get?
one.
Oh, 3.
2 dice.
Oh, it's 2 dice. Oh.
2. I can't go any lower than 2. That's snake eyes. What's the highest I can get?
11.
12.
12. And everything in between. So I can roll a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You playing that?
What?
Where you put that 2 and that 12.
I did. I did.
That means they important numbers.
So my sample space size here is 11. Okay. We've got 3 people running for class president and vice president. So I need to pick a president. How many people do I have to pick from for president? 3. Now I need a vice president.
2.
Why?
Because one of them got to be president.
Good. Okay. When you're dealing with people, if Sarah becomes president, I only have 2 people to pick from to be vice president. That same person can't fall in 2 spaces. So that becomes 3 times 2. So there's 6 different ways we can do that. Because I can do Sarah and Krista, Sarah and Arlen. I can do Krista and Sarah, Krista and Arlen. I can do Arlen and Sarah, and Arlen and Krista. Okay, those are your 6 options. Do you understand why it went down? Oh, smile, Jonathan. Life's not that bad. You just had a
Sure.
whole bunch of time off. Time away from my beautiful face. You missed it.
It didn't even feel like a long
I
Okay.
really didn't.
All right. So, how many of you know a deck of cards?
52.
Okay. Probability can be very, very difficult if you don't know a deck of cards. So we're going to break it down. Okay. Actually, I think I still have a picture up here. Back up for a second, Jonathan. Thanks, friend. All right. Hold on. I think I got one up here somewhere.
You still got your deck of cards right here?
Yeah, you should.
Here we go. Here's a deck of cards. Okay. So, in a deck of cards, there are 52. We do not count jokers in probability. Okay. So, of these 52, you've got a set of black and a set of red. Well, if they're 52 and we split them down the middle, black and red, that means we have 26 black and 26 red. We then take the black and split them in half into 2 different suits. We've got clubs on the top and spades on the bottom. There's 13 of each. Red gets split into hearts and diamonds. Again, 13 of each. Okay. Be very careful. When they talk face cards, they're only talking about these 12. The ones with faces on them. So that's just your Jack, Queen, King. Okay. All right, let me swap out of this again and back into the notes. So, I want to pull a 7. I don't care what kind of 7 it is, but I want to pull a 7. How many 7s do I have in a deck? 4. I've got 4 7s. Those are your 7 of hearts, your 7 of diamonds, your 7 of clubs. Yes, this looks awful. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Is it broccoli?
It might be. Sure. There you go. Nobody ever said that's the hardest to do.
Well, you can't paint.
Well, you're a math teacher, so.
I want a red face card. How many do I have red face cards in a deck? I've got 6.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Remember, I've got the Jack, Queen, and King of hearts. They're red. And I also have the Jack, Queen, and King of diamonds. Okay, so there's 6. What about pulling a black odd numbered card?
Would it go up to 10, right? So
What odd numbers do I have?
You got 5?
1, 3, 5, 7, 9.
Where do you see 1?
Oh wait.
Oh, you know what I mean?
There's no
Oh,
1.
shoot, 3, 5, 7.
Wait, there's no aces?
Technically, wouldn't eight.
But ace is not technically a 1. It's a 1 or a 13.
I guess you're right.
So we've got 3, 5, 7, and 9. And I also want these to be black. So that means I'm only looking at clubs. That one's better.
Yeah.
And I'm only looking at spades.
Draw a heart next time.
Listen,
Put a stick
leave
through it.
my spade alone. So there are 8 options for this one. Question. Okay. All right. As always, it gets more and more complicated. Okay, we've got 3 boys and 4 girls. They're doing a class fundraiser of magazines. We want to know how the top 2 sellers could be the same gender. So that means my top 2 sellers can be what?
Boy and boy.
Boy and boy, or
Girl and girl.
girl and girl.
These are dumb questions.
Okay. Boy and boy or girl and girl. So if I want my top sellers to be boy and boy, the first top seller, how many choices do I have to pick from?
3.
3. I need to pick my second top seller, so I have 2.
4, 3,
Girls
4.
starts off with 4
And then ends with 3.
and ends with 3.
So do you add those together or do you times them together?
Does anybody remember what 4 means in probability?
Oh, it means plus.
That means plus.
I guess.
Boy and boy, so that's multiplication, or girl and girl. Okay, so this should give you 18.
Wait, where did 4 and 3 come from?
You have 4 girls to start with.
And then 3.
So
After
once
you
you
select
pick a
your
girl,
first
so
one.
like,
Oh, it's gonna be 3.
If it's this 4, and if I'm the top seller, I can't be the second top seller, it's gotta be one of these 3. So it goes down. Okay? Okay?
Right.
Mike, Chris, and Brad are in a race. Consider how they can finish the race, assuming that no one ties.
You said my cousin.
So we need a first place.
Mike, Chris, Brad.
Okay? So first place could be any one of the 3. Second place then has to be 2. And third place has to be 1.
So where's that, Johnny?
What?
With
It
that
doesn't always work
That
like that. Don't do
one.
that.
With that one.
It doesn't always work like that. Don't do that. Okay. Multiple choice test with answer options. We have 3 questions. Question 1, question 2, question 3. How many options do I have to pick from for question 1?
4.
4. How many options do I have for question 2?
3. 4.
4. Multiple choice test, you're not losing any options.
You already think you can't pick it again.
Why can't I? If I've got A, B, C, D, my answer could be A.
Okay.
Okay.
When they know you guessing.
So there's 64 different options. This is why I said the sample space size is more important than actually writing out the sample space. Because nobody's going to sit here and write out 64 options. Okay.
But if you don't get what the question is asking, I know I'm getting confused with something small. I don't know. Because
Give me a second. I think I'll catch you where I need to catch you. Okay. Just give it a minute. All right. Ranking candidates. We've got 5 candidates running in an election. We want the top 3 finishers. So I need finisher 1, 2, and 3. Okay. That's where those lines come from. Okay. I'm only worried about president, vice president, and secretary. So that's what these represent. Okay. So the first thing I need to pick of those 5 candidates is a president. So I have 5 options. Then I have 4 and 3.
20 times 3. 60.
You've been saying it in the background for a moment now.
So then let me go back here, Celia. So these lines here represent the 3 questions. So this is question 1, question 2, question 3. When I'm answering question 1, my options are A, B, C, and D. So that's where the 4 comes from. And I don't lose options as I go, so it stays at that 4. Here you lose a person. What in the world is that? On your phone?
Man, that came from the left side.
All right.
Right.
So by the time we're done with this chapter, you should be able to answer some of these questions. You'll be able to tell me the number of ways that something can happen, the number of ways to perform an operation, the number of ways an event can occur. You'll be able to answer questions like, how many ways can you shuffle a deck of cards? How many NC license plates are there? How many phone numbers are in an area code? Okay, so the biggest thing you have to remember right now, if they're looking for and, that means multiply your numbers.
And means multiply.
And means multiply.
But it usually means
Or means add.
You know, they're technically 10, you know.
Do you have a question or are you just stretching?
Well, in my hand's just
Okay.
what and your
15.
and normally mean add.
15 single digit numbers.
yeah. Why did they switch it? That's wrong.
Because they always want to
Or
switch
11.
something. You think because we're older we can
Oh, no,
retain all
no,
this
no,
information.
no, it's
Well,
like
guess what,
20.
buddy? We can't. We just can't do it.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
What's that for, right?
and 0. -1, -2, -3.
We're not talking negatives.
See, that's what I
What
was
is we
saying.
doing?
No,
We don't do negatives.
well, then it's only 10.
Right.
What is he talking about?
All right.
I got lost.
So our key words, and or. A bakery sells 4 different soups at lunch and 7 different salads. Consider the below cases and determine how many different lunches could each person order. Michael goes in. He wants soup or salad.
So
So if you need to write it out, soup or salad,
salad.
So
and then
adding.
fill it in. We're talking options. He wants to pick a soup. He can pick from soup
4 different soups.
4 different soups.
Okay.
So we add
Or
7 different salads.
plus salads. 7 different salads.
Ooh, that's a good.
He has 11 different options for lunch.
Interesting.
He wants to work fancy.
Now Jared goes in, he's feeling a little fat.
He a hungry dude.
He needs some extra food. So he wants soup and salad.
He got more options.
So he has some more options. Still 4 for soup, but we've changed
And
it.
meaning it's gonna multiply.
And means we're going to
Chill
multiply.
on this guy.
And then salad, 7.
44.
Oh,
Okay.
I did 4 times 11.
No one did that.
Get off me.
As we all laugh at those.
Seven's the daddy.
aren't there like 28 letters in the alphabet?
Okay. This is why we're going over these questions right now before we get into any more. Okay, there's some basics you need to know, just like with cards, where there's 52 in a deck, 26 red, 26 black. You need to know how many single-digit numbers are there.
9.
10.
If you open up your phone, I'm not saying to do it, but if you open up your phone and you go to dial a phone number,
0.
how many numbers are there?
Oh, 9.
Those 0 counts.
Wait, are you counting 3 6?
Yes, 10.
No.
Where's 9 single?
What? I'm confused.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
All right, that's it.
9.
Get out your phone.
It's 10.
Mine's is over there. I
Count,
don't feel like
count
going
zero.
to.
You gotta count 0?
Yes, because it's a single digit number.
Okay, well then 10. Who put 0? What do you mean 0?
Uno, dos.
That's what she's talking about, but I mean.
Get out your phone, open it up so like you're ready to dial a number. How many numbers are on your screen?
3,
Oh,
6,
9.
9,
Oh.
10.
10.
There are
Why is it so
10.
difficult?
I didn't know that's what you meant.
There are 10.
I
You
don't
have the
know.
numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
1, 2,
8,
3, 4,
and 9.
7, 8.
Okay, I got a question for B. Who's alphabet?
That's what I tried to say.
Because of the
The
Chinese one, there's like,
English alphabet.
Because of the Chinese
Oh
one,
my
there's like 40, there's
Okay.
like
26.
500 of them.
I'm gonna need
5,000.
y'all to not be Jonathan and assume that we're talking about letters in an alphabet that is the English alphabet. Yes, I understand Spanish has like what, 28 or something like
We have
that?
26
Chinese alphabet has like 500. No,
Okay,
it's,
the Chinese
5,000.
alphabet has like 500. Yeah, I don't.
it's
Okay,
5,000
we don't
and
care.
800.
We're talking English alphabet.
Put that on the paper. Put that on the paper.
English. How many letters are in the English
27.
alphabet?
27.
You ain't counting Y. 27.
Oh, what?
The letters A through Z are 26 letters.
There are 8 planets in the solar system that, well,
Technically, yes, because Pluto's no longer a planet.
In my eyes, it is.
It's a dwarf planet. It still has the word
So
planet
you know
in
they,
it, so it's
they
a
taught
planet.
you. My very excellent mother just served us 9 what now?
well,
Because we're not eating pizzas no more. There's no Pluto.
I mean, I
It's
don't
very
know.
sad.
You know,
My childhood has been ruined.
It still has a planet in it, so
Okay.
It's a dwarf planet, not like small things,
no shrimps allowed.
right? Nothing.
All right. So
Microscopic.
here we go. Here comes the nitty gritty. How much more do we have? Oh, we almost done. Okay. All right. So the easiest way I can tell you to do this is break it down piece by piece. Okay. A PIN code requires 4 characters. That means you're pushing 4 different buttons. Okay. So that means I have options for the first push, the second push, the third push, the 4th push.
So you multiply.
Okay. 4 characters.
So
Yes,
single
because you're doing
digits.
this and that and that and that.
So you
Okay.
teach us how to break
10 times 10 times 10 times 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So the PIN code in 2A, I only want to use numbers. How many options did you say I had for a number? 10. Okay, this has to be a number, this has to be a number, and a number. So 10. Should it be 10 each time or should it go down?
It should be 10 each time.
10,
Why?
9,
They didn't say you
8.
had to have different numbers.
Okay, does it say that I can't use 2 once I've used it?
Nope.
No. Okay, so that means my password can be 2222. I've got 10 options each time.
You know, but if you put 10, that's 2, technically. 10 is 2, it'll be 2 digits.
Okay,
I'm saying it's
we're
10
not,
choices.
these aren't the numbers that you're plugging in. These are how many choices do you have for that number. Does that make sense?
So 10 times 10,
Time
100 times 10, 1,000 times 10,
10K.
10,000.
10K.
It's
There's 10,000 different options if I just use numbers.
because you have 10 different options to choose from.
Right. Okay.
Really? Don't
B.
you only have 9?
B, I'm still doing 4 characters. But this time I want a letter, a letter, a letter, a letter.
Bro, that's too big.
So it's 26, 26,
26, 26.
to the 4th power.
I was wondering when somebody was going to come up with that. You can also write this as 26 to the 4th power.
Oh, wow.
I don't write it at all.
Which means we have
456,976.
Okay.
456,976. Okay. 2C. We want a code that uses all letters or all numbers.
So.
I feel like it's gonna be too big.
I mean, we're at it.
We're going to add.
Oh no, wait.
How do I represent all letters?
So 36.
456, 476.
4, 5, 6, 9, 7, 6.
We've already done all letters. All letters was 456,976
Plus 10,000.
plus 10,000.
46.
So same thing, just add a 6 to replace the 5.
You're right. Your 5 changes to a 6. So now I've got 466,976 options. Okay. There is a difference between C and D. D now says, I want a PIN code that you can use any letter or number.
So you have to add 26 and 10 and then multiply, or something like that.
You got it. Okay, so here, when it says PIN code can use only all letters or all numbers. So that means my options are something like I can do A, B, C, D, or I can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. In D, they're saying I can mix it all up. I can do like 1C, 7A.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So that's what changes. So I still have 4 things I need to enter in, but this time my first one could be a letter or a number. So Drew, talk me through that again. Because you were right.
Oh,
Talk me through that again.
there you go.
So each option I have letter or number, which gives me how many options?
36 options.
36 now.
You got
So each one of
1, 6,
these-
7, 1, 6, 7, 9,
So
10,
each one of those little lines is 36.
Each one of the little lines is now 36. Okay. And you said that was one, what?
6, 7, 9, 6, 1, 6.
There's 1,679,616 options.
Okay, why does this matter?
How many times have you guys gotten emails that said you need to change your password And then they're like, you gotta use so many uppercase letters, so many lowercase letters.
And
So many
put special
symbols.
character in
Please
there.
don't forget a number, okay? The more complicated they make your passwords, the more choices there are, okay? As the passwords got more complicated, there was more options for you. If I stuck strictly to numbers, I didn't have very many options. We got 10,000. I added in some letters. Instead of numbers, my options went up. I mixed the two together, my options go up. So as they add all these special things,
It's
your
harder for
options
generators to hack.
become, and it makes it harder for people to hack. Okay, that's why that kind of stuff happens.
There are code generators.
Okay, but this is the kind of math that hackers use to figure out how many different options they have to pick from to get your password.
You don't have to use that math if the computer does it for them.
Yeah, well, we're
We
gonna
live in an
talk.
age of
We're gonna
technology.
talk like it's not the age of technology. Okay. All right.
Figure out the safe.
Example 3. Student password. It's got to be 5 characters long. So we need 5 dashes. Okay. A says the only restriction you have is the first thing needs to be a number. That means everything else can be a letter or a number.
So it'd be 10 times 36 times 33.
So 10, 36, 36, 36, 36. I've got 10 options if it's a number, and then 36, 36, 36, 36 if it's a number or a letter. The one on the right, that should say 3B, not 3C. I don't know why. Okay, your only restriction on this one is the last one has to be a letter, which means everything else can be a letter or a number. Which means the first 4 should be filled in with 36s, and my last one should be
36.
a 26. Okay, C says it needs to start with a number and with a letter. Anything else can be a letter or a number.
So 10 times 36 times 36 times 36 times 26.
So you need to figure out, 1, how many spaces do you need? How many different things do I need to fill in? Then you need to figure out, what options do I have in each spot? What should fill in each space? And then finally fill in the amount of options you have and multiply. Okay. Questions? How bad is it?
Then just get some.
Is it making more sense now where I'm coming up with? All right, let's finish this last little bit, and then I'm gonna let you guys practice on your own, and we'll go over those tomorrow. So here is the whole basic rules of counting theory that we've already talked about. Again, if you see that word and, that means we're multiplying. This means when something's done in operations or stages, okay? Some are different ways. So it's either one or the other, which is why we add, okay? But you can't have both. So here you go, G. This is just for you. You ready? You ready? Roger, he's going on vacation for a week to the mountains. He's packed himself 4 pairs of shoes, 6 pants, 7 shirts, and 3 jackets. We want to know how many options does he have if he wants to wear his outfits. How many different outfits can he make from what he's taken? So,
A lot.
on a daily basis, Roger's going to wear some shoes and some pants,
504.
and he's going to wear a shirt, and it's a little chilly likely Suey's gonna wear a jacket. I guess he doesn't wear socks or underwear.
Hey, we don't gotta pick that out.
You already know what you finna wear there, usually.
Right, don't let me.
They kind of forget.
But he didn't pack any underwear or socks.
We don't wear those.
Why?
Facts.
Right. Okay.
Maybe
So
more
now,
welcome, man.
once you understand it in words, you fill it in with numbers. So he's got 4 pairs of shoes to pick from, and 6 pants, and 7 shirts, and 3 jackets. So yes, Gianni, you said 504, right? There are 504 different outfits that he can wear.
You wouldn't think it's that much.
You really wouldn't. And nobody's saying this is matching because, you know.
Unless I was good for it.
Can I go to the restroom, please?
Yes.
Well, he's black and he can see your head.
Bro, I just paper cut.
It should be more if we're talking about the same Roger, like off American Dad.
Hey, we're going out to eat. And you're going to get yourself a 4-course meal and a drink.
Hungry.
Right, you fat kid.
I'm gonna form
Okay? 4-course meal and a drink. So, what kind of things are you getting in your 4-course meal? Well, let's see. We're going to get an appetizer and some soup and an entree. And of course, you know, you need some dessert. Can't go out to eat without some dessert. And you need a drink. Okay. So app and soup and entree and dessert and drink. Well, we've got 5 apps and 3 soups and 9 entrees and 6 desserts and 11 different drinks to choose from.
8,000.
Dang.
8,910 different ways to eat at that restaurant and have something different each time.
Wouldn't the next part be like -30?
So minus 30? No, it's a lot more minus than that. Okay. How many different meals include an appetizer or dessert? Okay. Before you do anything, you've got to do your ors first. So we've got app or dessert. Okay. What else do we get at mealtime? App, dessert,
Entree.
and an entree. What else are we getting? And soup. Anything else?
Drink.
Okay, we're just gonna go with drink.
Well, alcohol is a drunk.
Okay. So the only thing that's changed here is now I've got or in between app and dessert. So my numbers don't change. App is a 5.
Plus,
Or dessert, which is a 6.
multiply.
Now we multiply the 9 and the 3 and the 11. Okay. Whenever you add, you must throw that all in parentheses.
Why'd you do 3? Why'd you do
3
3?
is soup.
Soup.
She just didn't put it in
3 suits.
Sorry, I didn't spread it out enough. So it's underneath where it's supposed to be. And soup and drink.
Soup. Oh, okay.
3,767.
Okay, so my options dramatically decrease because I don't want an app and dessert. I only want one or the other.
Cause you broke. They're 2 for 20 at Applebee's and $20.
That's right. Because you broke.
It's 35.
So how many options do I have now that I've gotten rid of app and dessert?
Let's do it in our head.
Let's do it in your heads.
3,260.
All right, true.
3,267. That's a big decrease because you took out some options.
Shit, way.
Let's go to the cheesecake. Bruh. And do combinations of cheesecake.
Give me an Oreo, strawberry.
Okay, one more.
Oreo strawberry.
All right. An NFL team has enough room on their roster to sign 2 more free agents and must make the choice from 3 quarterbacks, 4 linebackers, 5 wide receivers. How many different ways are there to pick 2 players if they must play different positions?
Football?
So what's the first thing I can do if I want to pick 2 players? In words, who am I picking?
Quarterback.
Quarterback and what?
Linebacker.
Quarterback and linebacker. What else can I do?
Quarterback and receiver.
Or quarterback and receiver.
Oh.
Or
Quarterback.
linebacker and a receiver.
Oh, they must play different positions.
Okay.
Well,
They have to play different positions. That's why you don't have Q and Q, linebacker and linebacker.
R and L.
How would the
L and
receiver-
R. Oh,
How would the receiver get the ball? There's no one to give.
They're not saying you don't have a quarterback. They're saying you're adding 2 new people to the team and you want to pick them from different positions.
There's no whole team.
got to
It's like-
Okay, so now we fill it in with numbers and addition or multiplication. Q,
Q. Who?
what about it?
what should go with Q?
3.
Set.
3. And
Oh.
multiply
2.
and 4.
Then you add.
Then we add. Now I've got a
3.
Q again. 3.
5.
Multiply 5
Plus
plus
4.
4.
Time. 5.
So that means I've got 12,
47.
Plus
15, and
Plus
20, which Drew has said back there
oh,
is 47.
bro, I do 2.
I was trying to put my QL to the QR of the LR and the QR.
Okay. So you will notice after these, you've got basic counting practice problems. I'm going to go back to it in a second. Okay. Basic counting practice problems. There is one, there's a whole bunch. Okay. Clear up to 15. I want you to try as many of these as possible. If you get frustrated with one, skip it. Try a different one.
Skip it.
Okay. This is your homework. I'm not expecting each and every one of these to be finished. I'm not expecting them to be 100% accurate. I'm expecting you to try. Okay? That doesn't mean you do one problem and quit.
She said, get them all wrong.
I already did that.
Okay?
As long as they're done.
Questions? Yes, ma'am.